Hello, amigos. Nice to see you once again. Welcome, and let's dive into this book by Damilare Cuckoo. Only Big Bom Bom Matters Tomorrow. Okay, before we start, let me ask a question. How many times have you looked at a lady or a man, anyone, and have just made the expression, if only her backside was bigger, if only her front was more enlarged, if only she was taller, if only he had more muscles, if only he was this, if only he was that, if only she was more light-skinned, if only he was darker, and the list goes on and on and on. Have you ever made such comments? Okay, not to be judgmental, because I know each and every one of us at one time or the other must have made such comments. Well, let's take it to be most times as a joke, but you agree with me that there are many people that don't really make it as a joke. They're either teasing or making a jest of someone for that. So for people like that, Damilare Cuckoo had to write this book, Only Big Bom Bom Matters Tomorrow. And the story follows Temi, a 20-year-old graduate. Imagine 20-year-old, and she's already a graduate, right? A 20-year-old graduate who has this desire to enlarge her backside, and she just chooses her father's funeral to announce it to her family. To be precise, the reading of his will, because she wanted to use her own part of the inheritance to achieve her desire. Can you imagine that? Temi, according to this story, is from the southwestern part of Nigeria. So she's an African woman through and through. And if you know an average African family, such body modifications are not welcomed with open hands or accolades. And that was the same thing that ensued in Temi's family when she made this announcement. No one understood her. No one agreed with her, at least not on the spot. And so we enter into this story about Temi and her family. And this revelation of what she wanted to do to her body brought about some more revelations about the family. We are also privy to some of the lives of the women in the story, her mom, her sister, her aunties, from mother's side and from father's side as well. We see their experiences with the members of the opposite sex, and they were not all too good. One was heartbroken, one was disappointed, one was betrayed, but one eventually found love despite her past betrayals. It's a polyphonic novel because of this beats of the other people's lives in the book altogether. And so let's look at the themes in this book and the people to which these themes affected or told their story. First, let's start with the theme of love. We will see that there was a pure expression of love between Temi's mom, Hassana, and her father, Tito. The man really loved his wife, and he showed it. Everywhere his name was mentioned in the book, it was more of a loving memory that was being reminisced. He was that doting husband, and as well he was that loving and caring and doting father to his two daughters. I mean, we saw the love that was palpable between him and his first daughter, Ladud. He loved Temi as well, and it actually showed. Temi missed him. Temi remembered good times that she had with her father. And so we would see that there was great love between them. We would also see that there was love between the sisters in the story, Temi and her elder sister Ladun, at least to some point. Hassana, Temi's mom, and her sister also to some point, because I mean, life always happens at one time or the other. And really, when life happens at times, the first people that feels the tension when life happens to someone is usually their family members. Damilare found a way to infuse this into the book. So we would also see love between these sisters as well, up until some point where they had to deal with more things that kind of drew them away from their family. Permit me to drift a little bit, Damilare, the name Only Big Bombo Matters Tomorrow, you kind of wonder, what kind of name did she give to her book? And she has also had other books that you would turn back and ask, why is this person naming her books like this? Like, she's the best-selling author of the book, also Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad. When you hear such name, put it on and be like, what does this name mean? So yeah, that was the point I wanted to say about this lady. Right, so that's it about the theme of love. Okay, the next theme we're going to look at is the theme of beauty and body image. I told you that Temi wanted to modify her backside, but I'm not sure I mentioned why. The reason why Temi wanted to modify her backside was that she had grown up to always constantly be haggled and teased and made jest of about her body stature. So she grew up with that mentality that she did not belong to people who had the perfect body size that society loved and worshipped and adored. And she felt that for her to belong, she had to do something about that. And thanks to science that had brought about the Brazilian butt lift, she could do something about it and belong and be categorized among the people who had what society wanted. So in this theme of beauty and body image, Temi feels that her body image and her beauty is what she would be defined for. That's where everything about her is like cast upon her beauty. This Temi was described to us as someone who graduated at 20 years old. The age at which she graduated is a point at the fact that she's intelligent, because someone who's not intelligent and smart would not have graduated at that age. And another one, she graduated with a first class. So, but in this chase of beauty and a kind of a body image, we will see that she wasn't considering these other aspects, her intelligence, her smartness, and what she could achieve. She wasn't. Another person we would see in this beauty and body image is actually her sister Ladun. By description and according to the story, Ladun actually had the perfect body size. So she was beautiful by all standards, as well as her mother Hassana. But the question we'll ask is, did they have it all fair? Did they have it all smooth? Did they have it all like ticking all the boxes in life because they had this body image? No. But then did Temi consider this? I'm not sure she did. Another set of people who consider in this beauty and body image is her aunties, whom I call the custodians of the society. Yeah, they were the people that enforced whatever society was trying to enforce. They were the ones enforcing it in their homes. So they also carried this beauty and body image stuff in their head, always talking about objectifying women, talking about body parts randomly without thinking for once the impact of what their words were doing. Can you imagine that? And so the third theme we're going to look at is the theme of identity and self-worth. Let me start with Ladun. I mentioned earlier that Ladun had the prototype body stature that society worshipped, right? But did she have the self-worth that Temi thought would go with this kind of body image and body stature? Not quite. Ladun had some experiences that was able to show that it wasn't all about body. As a matter of fact, it was as if her own was a disadvantage, because she was one of the people that was betrayed and disappointed by the member of the opposite sex, despite having that which everybody classified as that is the body, she has the body, she's but no, she didn't have that experience, and that greatly affected her self-image. It greatly affected her self-worth. She had to constantly see herself asking herself, who am I? What am I here for? Of what good am I? Stuff like that. Despite having that body. But Temi was seen otherwise. Somehow, their relationship had been severed in the past because Ladun left home about 5 years ago. So her first showing up in the house after 5 years ago was at her father's funeral. And so they've not had that sister to sister conversation for her to tell her sister, see what I'm passing through, and life is not always all that it seems to be. So Temi on her own, she was going with that mindset that Once I get this beauty I'm talking about, once I'm able to modify my body as much as I want, I will be able to move to Lagos. It's one of the big cities in Nigeria. She'll be able to move there, start life afresh, be seen as the one who has it all. And of course, plus her intelligence, she will have everything that she wants. Life will move smoothly for her. Everything will be at her beck and call. So that was all Temi thought. That was her self-image. That was her self-worth. All relied on her ability to modify herself. Okay, and that's for self-identity. One thing I forgot to mention was, would you agree with me that there are people who do not have it all in the beauty aspect as society will set in its unrealistic way of setting standards? There are people who do not really fit into that, but their self-confidence and self-esteem is high up. And somehow the society honors them for that. I have witnessed such people, I've seen such people, and you cannot help but love them. They don't care what you think about their stature, they don't care what you think about their face, the shape of whatever part of their body. They know who they are. They know that which they cannot control, which is their body part. I mean, body part is mostly all about genetics. We can't control it, but many people make it seem as if you were the one who created yourself, so you should have control over such things, right? But people who understand this make sure that it's not part of their identity. Like, they don't define themselves by this. And when they build their self-image, their self-esteem, nothing, absolutely nothing can get in the way of that. Have you experienced such people? You may even be one of them, I mean. Okay. Right. Let's talk about generational conflicts. The generation of we do it according to the way society wants, and the generation of I will do me, self-love, me, myself, and I. This is the current situation of the world right now. Our parents, most of our parents are in the category of this is what society wants, this is what society says, you should do it like this, you should have this at this point in your life, get married at this point, be educated at this point, do this at this point, would have had a house, and the list goes on and on and on. And most times it's not what they want for you. They want it so that society will not look at them like, oh, you are different from others. They don't want to be different. They want to fall in line with every other member of the society. But our generation and the Gen Z generation, no, I don't mind being different. I don't mind being unique. I don't mind doing me. I want to do me, and I want the world to see me because I'm doing me and me alone. Though, if we're looking at that way, people are not actually supposed to do BBL for the fun of it, because BBL is more like a following trend as well, right? Well, but for people who are doing body modifications, the first reason they will always give you is, I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for myself. Have you not heard that before? So that is what we're seeing now, and we saw that a lot in this book. Temi is enforcing, it's me, it's my life, it's my money. I mean, it's my inheritance from my father. It's the money I've been able to save. That's what I want to use for this. And her mother and her aunties are saying, no, what will the society say? What will people around say? Her mother will be like, oh, why me? I just lost my husband, and now you're bringing this upon me so that society will say I didn't train you well. Oh God, I felt for her mom really, because she just had so much on her plate at that moment. But you see, when there's this generational conflict, or in the instances where this generational conflict thing takes place, you see that if each party is able to come to, not necessarily a compromise, to come to that unlearn, relearn, learn, unlearn, relearn stuff, they will be able to coexist peacefully and smoothly. I can attest to the fact that there are some families that have actually found the way to exist. This generation is willing to learn from this generation, and vice versa. And they are being very happy, not allowing society to control what is happening inside their family for them. I wish Temi's family will eventually come to that. Who knows? Okay, so the next theme we're going to look at, which will be the final theme, is the theme of hidden truths, family hidden truths. This is something that happens in almost every family. There's usually that secret, that family secret that one or two persons know about, they keep it from the rest of the family members. And eventually, just eventually, somehow, it may take some years, it may take months, but somehow this truth eventually pops up. And it doesn't really end well. The people who know it starts regretting, why didn't they reveal it earlier? The people who don't know start feeling like an outcast, like they are not considered a valuable member of the family to be shared such secrets with. And that's what happened in Temi's family as well. The reason why Ladun left the house 5 years ago was known to Temi's mom and her father as well, but no one let her into the secret. She was just taken as the younger one. Let's protect her, which is what usually happens. Let's protect her from this so she's not affected by it. So she was not told, and her sister didn't even tell her as well. Ladun just woke up. No, not waking up. I think it was in the middle of the night. She just carried her bag and boom, left the house. No one heard from her again. I think she was somehow communicating with her father or something, but that was just it. She never showed up, like I said, until the death of her father. And so in the drama that ensued as she revealed the fact that she wanted to have a backside modification, this truth started to come out. Why she left the house, what happened, how her mother knows about it, and all that. And this solidified her desire to leave the house, because she felt, oh, so really you people don't count me as a member of the house. That is even more reason why I should leave the house for you guys and go start a new life elsewhere. Hidden truths. Are you privy to one? All right, so yeah, these are the themes that I decided to talk about. Right now, I would want to talk about some statements and quotes by Temi herself. Permit me, I'll be reading from my device and kind of what they mean. Right. So I'll start with the first one, which is actually the name of the book. Only Big Bom Bom Matters Tomorrow. So like I said, the name of the book is quite funny. And then you ask, why isn't it just Only Big Bom Bom Matters? When you think deeper about the tomorrow there, you will see that Temi is trying to capture the fact that it seems the future favors or will favor only the ladies with the beautiful backside, kind of. So she is not just protecting her now by trying to get a BBL, she's also protecting her future. I said here, this captures the central idea that society values women based on physical appearance. Most times when women are seen, the first thing that is being seen is their appearance, how they look, their facial beauty, their body beauty, and all that. And this has been happening for ages now. It's not a new thing, but it seems like it's worse now, and everybody just has to do something about it so that when they are being objectified, they will be categorized into the right section. Another one, everybody has an opinion about a woman's body, just like I said, objectifying a woman. How women are constantly judged, they are objectified. At the first instant a woman is cited, it's about her body, it's about how she looks. Society treating the woman like a public property. So you see all the things that Temi was dealing with. You don't blame her, do you? Someone who, she's 20 years old and all her life, the book tells us that even as far back as her primary school, she was being teased about her body type. And you will imagine, how come children of primary school already knows the differences in body statures and body types? How do they know? One argument will say they watch it in TVs. My argument is they hear it from the adults that they are close to. Who acts it in the television is adults. Who say it they are hearing? The adults. And so we should be mindful of what we say in the presence of kids, really. Okay, maybe this is what confidence looks like. Temi is confusing physical transformation with confidence. Remember the theme of self-worth and identity. This is it here. She believes that her confidence can be achieved externally from how people is perceiving her than internally building her self-esteem. I wish you would one day sit down and have a talk with Ladun. It's easier to change your body than your life. This shows why Temi focuses on surgery. It feels like a quick, controllable solution compared to fixing deeper life uncertainty. So if she has this perfect body that she's seeking, then all her troubles will be solved. Is that true? No. People notice what you don't have before what you do, still boiling down to objectifying you. Most times the cup is always half empty. People will first see that which is not there than that which is there. Really, people who see that which is there, I will believe that it's more of training, it's more of being self-conscious and try to appreciate what is there first than what is not there, not just about body parts. Family will tell you they love you and still not listen to you. Temi is lamenting that her family is telling her they love her, they're trying to tell her they love her, but they're not listening to her need and her want and why she wants to modify her body. This is funny. Silence in the family usually means something is being hidden. Your guess is good. Her wailing about not being let into the family secret. The loudest voices are not always the wisest. Temi's auntie, they stressed her life. But she held her own. A Gen Z, trust her. She can't be chewed like that. She showed that, see, I'm no longer that little girl that you could mess with. I know what I want. It's my life. I can do it. It's whatever I want. I want to be seen, properly seen. Shows that Temi's desire isn't just physical. It's emotional. She wants recognition, validation, and attention. But I would say she's not seeking for it in the right way. I'm not judging her wanting to modify her body. No, I'm not judging her. But I want her to, even if she will modify her body, I want her to also build her self-confidence from within and not what can be seen from outside. Okay? So no, I'm not judging anyone who's had a body modification. It's your life, it's your body. What if I change everything and nothing changes? You see, this girl is very intelligent. She's gradually coming to that realization that I may be putting all my eggs in one basket and thinking that this is it. I mean, a eureka moment that once I do this, I'm getting it all. She's questioning, what if these external changes doesn't really fix these internal struggles? What if this insecurity about her body that she's feeling will not really be fixed by fixing her backside? It was really a humorous one to read. I'm from Nigeria, so I could resonate with so many things that were said here. I'm not from the southwestern part of Nigeria, so there were some languages, some statements that were made in the native language that I couldn't understand, but still it was a fun read. It was a humorous way of telling the grim things that's happening in our society currently. So if you've read this book, let me hear your thoughts. Let me see it written down. What do you think? And if you've not, I hope once again I've ignited that desire to have a peep into the book and see what Damilare Kuku was all about. Thank you. Bye-bye.